To the IEM Sydney 2018, and we're here now into the lower bracket best of three. This is it. This is do or die time for these two teams, Legacy and Order. They lose, they're completely out. Their hopes, dreams, everything shattered. Pilly.
Got between Mitch and Pilly.
I did, unfortunately.
That's all right. Well, we'll get to see which one of these Oceanic teams is going to make it further in the competition, fighting for the domestic bragging rights, so to speak, as they both have sort of failed to make it past the first couple games, I would say, against international competition, but Legacy had to go up against Renegades, which is, 3/5 Aussie. I guess I'll give it a pass, just based on maths.
Yeah, absolutely. So Renegades really the only one to proceed forward in the upper bracket so far. I mean, today has been, a day of, I guess, minor upsets. If NRG was able to take that victory against Australis, we could have been saying it was a day of major upsets, but there's only been one so far with Tai Lu knocking down SK in overtime, 19-16. So everything else really has just been routine procedure.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I'd say NRG definitely having a, amazing game, but weren't quite able to have enough to push it over the edge. I was watching that one myself on the edge of my seat, but not quite enough. Let's hope to see some more, nail-biting games like that.
Yeah, so just a quick recap of the schedule. If you have missed some of the games earlier on, we did start about 4 or 5 hours ago, and already we're here into the elimination games for the B stream. And like I said earlier, it is going to be Legacy up against Order. So Order did lose 4-16 against FaZe, and meanwhile Legacy, they lost 9-16 against Renegades. But I mean, surprisingly, Legacy are the ones coming out on all of this looking like a much better team. The other Australian team so far has just been, they've been absolutely dominated. There's no other way of putting it. I mean, the best other result outside of 16-9 was a 16-6.
Yeah, they definitely have been outclassed completely by all the teams coming from international and abroad, etc. I would have to say, though, if you're talking about Order versus Legacy domestically, just all other results aside, you definitely expect Order to come out with it rather than Legacy. I mean,
this is Legacy's chance to do some damage. I mean, they did verse up against each other to actually qualify for that third position for IEM Sydney initially on, and Order did manage to take that out 2-0 in comprehensive manner to earn their third, or to earn the position for IEM Sydney as well as a third seed. So, I mean, this is going to be another grudge match that's setting up between the two. But what for Legacy they have is the ability to slay kings, so to speak. They're the ones to topple thrones. They're the ones to upset. Can they do it again?
Yeah, they've sort of been in that position for a while where they're sort of knocking on the door of the top sort of spots just below Chiefs, I would say. And they've yet to, prove it super hard, but their victory against Tainted in the IEM Sydney online qualifier was definitely one step in the right direction, and actually is the whole reason why they're here today. If they hadn't taken that victory over Tainted Minds, we'd be seeing Tainted Minds instead of Legacy. However, they have to play with the stand-in at this tournament, so not at full strength, and even when they were at full strength, Order was able to deal with them quite handily in that qualifier, so I'm not feeling too optimistic, but who knows, maybe Order's had a bit of a knock of confidence after having to play FaZe. I'd say they're probably used to it after the last match they played pretty much ended the same way, so they can't be feeling too hard on it.
Well, I mean, we're going to have to take a look and see. We do have an interview with Order lined up, so let's go ahead and take a look at it.
My name's Jordan Badgic, also known as Hats, and I play for Order. Every player in our team is very important. Siko and Liaz are in our star position roles. Chris, imagine being the in-game leader, also has a very important role in our team. We did make a roster change and bring in Ali, and obviously Ali and myself basically support and help everyone basically shine. So our biggest strengths, I think, our individual skills. We have a good sense of individually understanding how we should play, as well as Chris giving up a lot of space for us. He also calls in a way for us to excel as well. Our main goal, I think, well, for myself, but I'm sure for the others, is always trying to compete outside of Australia as much as possible, because it's actually very important, I think, for our region, is to get the experience and learning so much from versing other teams from other parts of the world. Obviously, another goal is getting first at this event. Yeah, it'll be a very big achievement. These sort of opportunities is what everyone wants. We want to be able to experience better players, better teams, better scenarios. That's how we improve. That's how we, improve our scene. And yeah, I think it's a very, very good thing. I hope we get a clean run through the bracket and get into the semis, and have a little bit of a grinder out in the semi-final upper bracket, but eventually winning. I don't want to say I don't think we'll lose, But we're very confident, you know, so especially it's LAN as well, so it's, you know, our environment, we're very experienced on LAN, so yeah.
And there you have it, some thoughts from Hats of Order. That was obviously at the APAC finals, but the same thoughts carry forward into IEM Sydney as well. They want to do the best that they can. I mean, it was disappointing for them going down in third and now going into the lower bracket against FaZe, but they've got an opportunity still to proceed from here against Legacy. And Legacy, just one of those teams which have just recently actually been able to make their way into maybe the 4th and 5th position we're talking about inside Australia. I mean, they've been granted this chance here at IEM Sydney to show what they've got.
Yeah, definitely thrown a bit of a lifeline after not really making it far enough in the qualifier, not quite having what it takes to beat Order in the first opportunity given. This might be their chance at redemption, but like I said, not feeling too optimistic, especially with the stand-in factor. They would have to definitely dig deep and do their absolute best to take out Order in this scenario. Order would have to underperform a bit, and we'd see how we go, but I'm feeling pretty strong on Order this one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, once again, Legacy do have to use a stand-in as well. So LaCour going to be the stand-in for Yellow instead, who couldn't make it due to work commitments. So already that is going to be a big blow. Yellow has just always been one of those players who have been able to make an impact on the LAN, especially on the LAN side. In terms of online, he's very quiet. He comes to LAN, that's something different. That's the Yellow with the X factor. It's a shame that we're not going to see him here, but LaCour definitely has a lot to present as well. He's been playing in different scenes before. He's been traveling around, and now this is his chance as well to maybe put his foot forward and show the world what he's got on his resume.
Yeah, definitely, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of maps we go towards further into this series, whether we start to see a Mirage, whether it will come down to those Inferno deciders. Maybe we have a bit of a trickier veto from Legacy this time to try and get themselves an advantage, rather than trying to play straight up on the more comfort maps that they're used to.
Yeah, I mean, so far for the best of ones, it's been pretty one-sided. So we'll have to take a look at the vetoes as they do go underway. Maybe we'll all see a Dust 2 in the process, but no, Dust 2 is going to be banned out. So I think Order may be a little bit scared that Legacy will be picking that up, and Nuke being banned out by Legacy, actually. So pretty interesting there, because it means that a lot of the strong maps that both these teams like playing are still open, both Traded, Inferno and Mirage.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to come straight down to comfort maps once again. All the specialist maps kind of being banned out, all the tricky maps where one team could sort of get a big advantage on the other, just taken out straight away, and we're just going to play a straight-up series of Counter-Strike, it's looking like.
Yeah, all right, let's see what Order as well as Legacy's map pick are. It's going to be Train and Mirage as the two picks, and I did expect this a little bit. Train, that is what Order do love playing on. And Legacy, they can definitely compete on this alongside the Mirage as well. So this is going to be very open maps for both sides to take.
Interesting to see that Order's gone straight into Train. Obviously, they'd be feeling super confident on it, and they think they're going to take this series fairly handily. But Legacy, I've seen them have a bit of a struggle on Train in the past, but I do know that they actually at least play it. And it's kind of danger territory. If you give Legacy an opportunity to maybe take you on the first map, then they head into their map pick with a full, you know, bib of confidence, or however you want to say it. You're giving them an opportunity to actually have a chance in this series, as opposed to just picking further down into their map pool and making, you know, yourself have a much better chance in terms of getting them uncomfortable, especially with a stand-in. How many maps can they really go through realistically? But different perspective, I guess. All
right, let's hasten up the veto process and let's see what the final map is going to be. So the next two bans going to be Cashion Inferno. That's going to leave us an Overpass as a final one. So we will see a specialized map at the very, very end. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes, as it looks like both sides are playing a little bit truth or dare. And at the end, it looks like Legacy went, we're going to call dare, and we're going to allow this to resolve an overpass.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like it'll be hard for Legacy, especially with the stand-in factor, to see if they're going to have that much depth on overpass, whereas Order might be a team where they actually have the solidity in their map pool, and they'll be able to have the depth they need on a map like overpass to close out the series if things get tricky.
Well, I mean, seeing this map pool at the moment, what would you rate Legacy's chances? Obviously, they're the underdog in here. We've seen only one upset so far at IEM Sydney 2018. Do you think we'll see another one coming into this best of three, or is it going to be Order once again a 2-0 clean sweep for them?
Look, if they come out swinging, maybe there might be a chance, because they'd be given two maps that they actually play in the highest sort of area of their pool. Train would be somewhere in the middle, and then they've obviously been able to pick one that they're very, very comfortable with. So they might have some kind of a chance. We're going to have to see the other individuals step up, because when I was looking, having a little bit of look at the scores and stuff like that from the last match, it was really Lonsdale who had a good performance against Renegades, and everyone else was kind of lagging behind a little bit more. So going to need to see some of the others step up, and if that's the case, then maybe they can have a bit of a chance, and if they have any chance, they'll edge them out on two close ones. If it goes to overpass, I don't have much faith.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to have to be down to Blitz stepping up in terms of the gameplay, because he's been very quiet. It's going to be, as well as that, Soju stepping up as well.
For sure. So, heading into the first one on train, it will be Order's pick. Should be their playground, their comfort pick. And I'd imagine we're going to see Legacy straight onto this CT side. Or it's a best of 3, so I'd imagine they'll get the side pick. And they will.
Here we are. This is it. The elimination match between Legacy as well as Order. It is going to be a best of 3. And the first map is going to be Train Legacy starting on the CT side. This is Order's map pick. And we're going to see how well Legacy can do to deflect Order's aggression.
So
Let's go, Mitch.
Lon's picked himself up a CZ, but nothing to accompany it. And then just armor across the board. For everybody else, Order 2 sets of utility and a PG50 on hats. Smoke goes out towards the sandwich area just to set up, as well as a flash over to T-Con. And looking like Order's going to set up an outside push. Ooh, did Imagine just hear Lonsdale pushing the Ivy there? That's the question. Lonsdale might be able to get himself a freebie here.
Mag definitely hurt him because he's going to look around, but Lon's still going to get the better of him with the CZ. Meanwhile, the rest of the CTs have been able to rotate across, but Hats to this P250, absolutely lethal. That's 2 tangos neutralized and actually brings it back to a 3-on-3. And now the T side just going to be slowly dialing things back as the smokes do dissipate. As now Sicko is looking to get a little bit closer, but it looks like for now the rest of the T is just going to be communicating what's going on.
Yeah, the T's just sort of waiting around for some picks for the CTs to make a mistake. The CT's playing fairly passively, but Hart's doing more damage. Not quite landing any heads, but that's plenty of body shots done, and Sicko's able to pick up one more.
Yeah, now Lacour, he has to make impact because Blitz has been tagged down quite heavily, but Sicko definitely finding the picks that he needed with the Glock. It's all down to Blitz on a 1-on-2. Only with 28 HP and no kit, Leaz will be able to get that bomb plant down. Hat still has a P250 as well, and that can do a lot of damage, especially given that Blitz A is on low HP, and the P250 can tear through that armor like paper pieces.
Hats is also on low HP though, so 2 body shots and he's done for. Not even the headshot from Blitz. Looks away at the wrong time. What's happening? Ah, Hats just catches him off at the wrong timing there, and Hats with the massive 3K.
And that is it. Order taking the first pistol, even though EMAG does go down very early on. They just waited. And Legacy, they are going to be forcing here.
Straight into the double scout as well, so see how many body shots they're able to net themselves before it sort of moves towards the end of the round. If they're able to get enough, who knows? Maybe we'll be able to see some of these deagles, the grenade on the start, CZs get some clean-up kills on the rest of Order. Looking like they're going to go for mostly AKs and ups. Imagine's going to stick to the MAC-10. Leaz just gets dunked by the CT nade thrown by Stat there, so good nade placement. Looking like they got a pretty specific plan lined up here. Just smokes off towards the bomb side and Ivy, and they're going to split outside.
Yeah, and the AK is going to be rolling out at SL, but already a lot of damage actually being done. The smokes, though, will be able to nullify any of the aggression coming out from the scouts, so you have to see some pretty nifty shots coming out from Blitz as well as Lonsdale. But so far, both sides playing quite slowly. Soju's going to be elevated up in heaven, but he can't find that tiny angle onto Sicko's head. And finally, here come the pistols out swinging, but the rifles as well as the UMP, just a little bit too much firepower for the initial assault to handle. And now it's going to boil down to the second wave. It should be, once again, another Order round. Some damage has been done, but the rest of the CTs are just going to be backing out. Lonsdale not offered the opportunity to do so. Hats has been out for blood. And could have been dicey for Order, but they do very well with that smoke wall. They nullify any of the danger, and Lacour is left trying to save this scout as well as armor. We'll be able to do so into the next round.
Yeah, well, there's 2 ways you can kind of minimize risk in those anti-eco rounds, and you definitely need to do so with how strong some of these scouts and pistols can be on some of these players. And one of them is just you take things slowly and you try to see if any aggression does happen, and then you punish that and you're able to play the round from an advantageous situation. Or B, you can kind of give yourself a set play to work with so you know what the risks are and minimize it that way. You know, you set yourself up with a specific play, and that's what they do to sort of close out that anti-eco. Even though they lost a couple to those pistols, they're able to pay the post plant with 3 people still alive, and they, Legacy has very little chance running in with the pistols there.
Yeah, but this looks like a pretty routine anti-eco cleanup. Could have been a little bit of a danger there. They are running into a stack, but the rifles, once again, Leaz and Hat doing the bulk of the heavy lifting. Sicko decides to join at the party end, but that's a good start. We're expecting Hats and Leaz to be the impact fraggers for Order. And you can see already Hats off the 7 kills. He was phenomenal with the P250 with no armor on the pistol round. Definitely contributed to a lot of damage in the kills that they needed.
Yeah, definitely did. And only 2 guns sort of lost across those 2 anti-eco rounds, despite some decent investments from Legacy. Interesting that Lons has opted to go over onto the Scout. We've got Blitz on the ult with limited utility. In fact, limited utility across the board from the Legacy side, so definitely going to be relying on getting some picks fairly early on here. Alistair, Molotov out onto the back of Green Train, and he smokes out, going very fast out Olaf, and it looks like 2 people straight up Ivy, Kev.
Yeah, there's going to be a fast attack on the A bomb site. Alistair, he's trying to call ever so closer, but he's taken a lot of damage earlier on from Blitz. Now Lonsdale with a scout. This is why you don't want a scout in this position, but Emag does manage to flash himself off. Lonsdale still challenging with a CZ. Does manage to get assistance from Lacour coming out from CT spawn. So this is a much messier round, but Liaz and Hats are still alive. No longer is Hats alive, though. It's all down to Liaz on this 1-on-4. He won't be able to get any more damage done. Soju in Heaven just staying above and just doing the damage needed. Legacy do manage to pick up the first buy round quite convincingly. Order, well, they have a lot of money to do so, to buy up again.
And that's what you want to see. You want to see Legacy retaining many of these guns so they don't have to suffer too much economically speaking. And you can see 2K across the board on 3 of their players and the rest of them struggling a little bit more. So, you know, we're not out of eco territory yet, but at least they won't be in, you know, that double eco territory that's so dangerous, getting reset on the CT side. As for Order, plenty of money still across the board this time. Bit slower of a approach, sending more people towards inners, take control of that Brown Halls and White Halls area. Pat's going to do that mostly on his own as the Molotov out onto the upper ramp.
I have to say that Soju is going to be that player looking to go hot and heavy-handed in SL. I remember just watching him in a scrim recently where he was playing this position phenomenally well, just locking down teammate as well as SL. And for Legacy, I understand a chance to, again, on the CT side against the T side of Order, he definitely needs to be doing the bulk of the lifting. And Order have slowed things down.
Yeah, and it's not just, you know, how he locks it down. Just being in the SL position gets you so much information, hearing the footsteps and the rotations back and forth. Having control of the SL position, you know, sort of limits what areas Order can take and how quickly they can move their way through from the inners to the outside and how many double pumps and fakes they can do. Looking like they're going to set up towards inners for a bit of an execute here. We'll see if they do the sort of standard nip smokes with the one towards the upper ramp, you know, 2 deep on the left side and go in that way, whether they're going a bit more dry. See how we go here. Looking like we're setting up one towards the end in the middle. And a couple flashbangs on the rest of them with 2 being thrown out to lower ramp. They're going to entry on them.
Lacour does drop that incendiary grenade, sort of forces the T's to run past Hot Dog instead, but Lacour's just caught completely off guard. Lonsdale trying to spray through, but Hats has been so sharp so far. And Blitz, he needs to be able to land these shots. Alistair will not allow him the reprieve to land the follow-up. So Stat and Soju just going to have to save these rifles. Their economy is not good enough for them to start doing damage. But Emag, oh, that's not the kill that you want to be getting for Emag. You just shot your own teammate in the head. So I guess the CTs have done damage.
Yeah, intentionally or unintentionally. But you know what? That inners play works out perfectly for Order. 2 deep smokes and the smoke onto upper ramp. It's just, you know, one of the more standard inners hits that we see nowadays, and they executed it perfectly. Saw all those Ts straight down the low ramp towards that connector. They don't want to let any of these rotating CTs out of the smokes. They trade, they get that inners pick rather, just completely off guard. The CT looking in the wrong direction, and he's half flashed as well. With 1 player left behind, still throwing those flashbangs. He can't be sure how many people are out or on what angle. And it just works perfectly for Order.
I was about to say, Legacy do have just a little bit of cash to invest in here. It looks like they have forced up Billy.
Yep. I mean, you can either go for the, especially with the saved weapons, you're kind of committed into it, especially with a fair bit of utility across the board from them. Not ideal to obviously be rolling around with the FAMASs, especially against such sharp players on the side of Order, but we'll see how they go. It's good to also keep it kind of close with Order so their economy doesn't start running away with the game. It's often what we see from a lot of these games, especially with Order. There's at least one half in one of these best of 3s, if not multiple, where you just see some of the Order players on like 8, 10k and stuff, and it seems almost impossible for the underdog to string so many gun rounds together.
Well, if Legacy are to string rounds together, then they have to just make sure they hold on to the bomb sites. B site has been identified as a potential weakness, and there is going to be the shoulder stepping coming out from Lonsdale, so he gets a little bit of information that Sicko is playing a little bit further back and there's no AKs close. And it is going to allow more focus in team main as well as the B bomb site instead of Ivy.
Soju up close in the SL position once again. Hasn't been allowed to push up, as would be suicide to walk up there with Imagine with Crosshair train there. Looks like they might try to take a bit of control of it. Smoke straight out towards the back of Green Train on Ivy, and a bit of T-Con pressure coming out. The one flashbang, but Lonsdale trying to face down two with just the Famis, gets traded immediately. Molotov onto Sandwich, and looks like Soju's about to get double dropped on. How will he do? Gets one, gets another one.
Yeah, and gets two as well. That also drops the bomb carrier. Stat doesn't know there's actually one right beneath him, but he does look around just at the right time. So it's now all left down to Sicko. So many targets for him to find, and this is what I was talking about earlier on. You need Soju to be locking down the SL position, and lock it down he does. It was a little bit stilted, Stilton? That's not the correct word. I don't know what happened there, but staggered. Hats didn't really come on top of Emag's head, so don't know what happened exactly there. Legacy don't mind, though. They'll take this round.
Yeah, the whole point of doing that double drop is to have the falling accuracy of the second player on the T's head. And, you know, if you don't do it properly, what's the point? You're basically dropping one by one into a CT crosshair, and that's exactly what we saw from Soju. Easily able to pick up both of those kills. And Order, they're going to force up into this one. Full investment across the board from them. 3 CCs and 2 AKs. Oh, it's looking like a pretty quick contact in, and they had success on that bomb site last time. Will Blitz be able to get a pick hit?
Oh, he's been flashed off the angle. Order. They'll slowly start walking in, so Legacy still don't have a great read of what's going on. Without Soju being in close to SL either, they are going to have to be putting focus on Ivy instead.
Yeah, but they got the 3 smokes out, and in it comes again. Same execute as before, just with CZs.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to be wrapping around LaCour as fast as possible, but LaCour's just backed off. Blitz as well, falling very, very far off. The CZ's trying to jump through the smoke, but Soju's here. Hats is just going to back off. He was looking to get aggressive, but the smokes will fade, and you've got to be favouring the CTs at the stage until Alistair with the AK-47 just spots out the shadow of Soju, and just like that, Soju will slither away into the darkness. He'll be available in the next round, but Alistair now making the AK-47 work as well. He's found 2 kills so far. And still the T's just dancing around, but as time is dwindling away, the CT's making the kills, they're converting them in their favor. Liaz now down to a 1 on 3. Nigh impossible, the bomb plant isn't for him, and Blitz is watching the angle. Legacy will be able to pick up another buy round. Solid stuff coming out from Lonsdale, Stat, and Blitz. Just calm and collected on the retake.
Absolutely. You thought Alistair with that mid-round pick over the smoke would have pretty much been the nail in the coffin, but Auto fall into that false sense of security of, you know, we're in a 5-on-3, we shouldn't be pushing, right? But when you're getting retook on by an AWP and 2 rifles on the long-range in duels, especially on a map like Train in a bomb site, like, it can be so advantageous for those CTs retaking if you have no smokes, no flashes for the Ts to peek off of, and that's exactly what we see there. It looks almost effortless despite being at a man disadvantage, and if Order had just made that adjustment, which is, you know, a really hard call to make, almost nobody would.
So another change up. Order trying to come fast in the A bomb site through SL this time, but it's not going to work out. The CT's Legacy have this perfectly nullified. I mean, if it wasn't for Imagine actually picking up a single deagle kill there on Blitz, it may have just been an absolute clean sweep, but LaCour's going to be blinded out, but Soju, he's preferred heaven so far. He's been so sharp from this position as well as SL, really doing the majority of the work alongside the Blitz on this A-bomb site. That's what you need. You need 2 solid A-bomb site holders, otherwise it's going to be dire situations, but Legacy have tied it up 4 apiece with Order.
Absolutely, and now Order straight into the buy round once again after saving. They have counted all their dollars and they'll be spending them into this round. No AWP on Sicko. Just rifles across the board. Haven't seen too much of it from him so far on this T side, and we'll see what Order do have prepared for us. This is a fairly honest buy round, and honestly, Legacy have got a couple in them, maybe 2 more, as Order do just spread out straight down SL though. This could be another fast split towards the outside bomb site. It's looking like it, but Molotov's sort of staggering this out towards T-Con and SL. Order will have to wait if they want to continue this push. Another smoke out towards SL. Blitz posting up on a couple of angles, and they are playing 3 all around the bomb site as well as Lons in heaven. That flash is going to stagger even more, and Blitz opens up.
And Soju just playing close aircon as well. Knows that he's got support, but he doesn't need support. He's a one-man army at the moment. He's shutting all the players from Order down, and now here comes the support. The cavalry has arrived. Liaz just by himself. Lonsdale will pick up the 2 kills. And Legacy in the lead, and they're looking comfortable while doing it as well. Look at the money that's slowly starting to build up for them.
The utility usage is just perfect in that situation to stop Order's push. They want to go too fast down that SL, two out T-Con while one's on top of the dumpster near spawn, throwing the utilities for his teammates to get out. But with the Molotov on T-Con, the Molotov and SL, followed up by a smoke that they have to run through, it just makes Legacy's job so easy. They had 4 on the outside bomb site. No pressure was even applied on Inner that entire round. So the Inner's anchor is just sitting there saying, you know what, I haven't heard anything. No one rotate. We don't need to.
Yeah, so Order just going to be throwing a lot of smokes close. They've got a lot of members in T-Connector, but this isn't a round where they have a lot invested as well. Just mainly pistols as the firepower. But Lonsdale's actually going to cop a dink. He's down to 1 HP. That's a dink from a Deagle.
Unfortunate. Should have been a kill, to be honest, considering it's a Deagle, and Lons will sort of escape, but definitely going to be feeling nervous about doing anything too active in the rest of this round. Probably just looking to support a teammate, maybe play an off angle, and it's looking like just another push towards this Inner. Second smoke comes out, but I doubt it's going to slow Order down.
Nope, they're just going to slow line themselves up. They're going to have to be making a contact play. They don't have any utility left. And the core just sitting on the Inner train. He's afraid of a flashbang. He's looking back and forth, trying to find the correct timing. But as soon as the smoke fades, maybe they're just going to be rushing out, and they're just going to be rushing dry out. The bomb has been dropped for now, but so has LaCour. He's dropped down. Maybe not the best decision at the stage, as it does mean that the CTs now have a lot of job to do to just retake this B bomb site. Though the bomb is lost in a very awkward position, so it should mean that the Ts don't pick up this round. Liaz has coming from behind, though, as Soju does manage to completely clean up on the B bomb site. Liaz just on the lurk. Not much that he can really achieve in this round, as he's just looking to do some damage into the CT economy.
Good kill on Lons. It's going to keep this economy in check a little bit more, but it doesn't really matter at this moment, Kev. You know, we were talking about, oh man, Order. Always see them on 8, 9, 10. Sorry, it's the other way around this time. Legacy, money to play with for days, and they haven't been investing in the orbs too much. Usually you'd see, you know, a train team with this much money, you know, moving forward in the game, probably going to the double orbs at least at some stage, but they haven't really needed to. It's been working for them. Why mess with it if you're being pretty successful? They've just strung so many rounds together since Order got those first 4, and let's see how it keeps on going for them. Maybe in the future, bit of a change up, but we'll see.
Order look like they want to be going for something fast again, or they're sending a lot of members fast in the T-connector and lining back outside bins, so just drawing out some initial utility.
Yeah, I think it's just the first wave of utility, and then they're going to follow it up with another one. They've been given SL control yet again, and just going to be a bit of a staggered execute stat. I can't believe he could have seen Alistair on that angle. Probably
That's
playing
dirty.
in front of the sandwich smoker, just seeing the top of his head. Double dink comes straight out, but still the Molotov being left on him. Soju outside the SL. Will he be flashed in mid-round? And it's looking like Order not keen on this outside anymore. The double dink has had them second-guessing themselves.
I'd be second guessing as well, because they have been unable to take the outers position. B site still seems to be the best choice. They've been able to get the bomb plant down and the pick on the core, who is the fill-in, but he's had a rough start so far. It is very difficult to be holding this B bomb site. And here we are once again, we're back into the B bomb site attack.
And Blitz ready for the contact play down. Will they be able to use a flash in time?
Oh, they're jumping down. They're just making contact in Blitz. He doesn't land the shot, but he's still staying alive for now, which is going to be better than expected. For the CT side, LaCour just going to be trying to swindle his way around, but Sicko does manage to pick up his counterpart. The Molotov isn't good enough to deny the plant. LaCour trying to just dance his way around the edge of the smoke grenade. Isn't going to find the first initial pick. He's still alive, though, and this is meaning that the T's cannot proceed beyond the threshold. The smoke will eventually fade, though, and LaCour has to come out on top. Does not manage to do so. Sicko now just solo-handedly just locking down these angles, and the riflers will do the rest of the work. So once again, B-bomb site is the weakness for Legacy. Order will be able just to stroll in and make a very simple contact play. I mean, I say simple. It is not easy to be coordinating something like that, but they just make it look absolutely breezy.
Yeah, when you're down and out, just stick to the simple things, and usually they'll work out better unless you've got some kind of specific read. And it's pretty early on in this game. I mean, I feel like most of this CT side, apart from a couple of rounds in the beginning, Legacy's pretty much been shutting down fast outside plays, and their weakness definitely has been the B-bomb site, and Blitz, you know, missing that opportunity to sort of get his teammate an easier job in the 1 versus 3 rather than, you know, 1v4ing on the site. And, you know, they get the bomb down. Not much else they could have done in that scenario, and we'll see how things break down from here. Going to be a attack pause coming out. And Legacy, still plenty of money to play with. 4 alive in the last round, or was it 3? I think it was 3, right? for
In terms
Order.
of, yeah, Order definitely have enough to play around with
Yeah.
still. But, I mean, the concern for Legacy, obviously, why they're calling attack pause, even though they did manage to string about 5 rounds in a row, is because they have been losing that B bomb site. They need to start figuring out the solution, because normally you talk about it, oh, look, they've lost the B bomb site, but there was only one person there. But Legacy have been having 2 people, and they're still losing it.
Yeah, but it wasn't, you know, one person fully committed. Like, after Blitz takes that one shot, there's not much else he can do from that situation, especially when the smoke's coming out between the trains and Order's taking the bomb site properly. Like, usually, you know, at the lower levels, you might get yourself a chance at a shot or two, but that one shot, you pretty much left to either try and repositioning, pick one, jumping on top of a smoke or something like that, or you lock down upper ramp and you don't have much choice apart from that. Lonsdale, as soon as he does see the smoke and the molly from the CTs, trucks his own down. Flashbang to make sure the Ts don't push through that. Might go for it anyway, and it's looking like a bit more of a slower setup here from Order. They do take in his control. Once again, it is Hats clearing all that out, throwing his utility towards upper ramp. He is supported by Sicko, who does have the AWP. So, will we see Sicko? I mean, the fact that Sicko's even there sort of indicates that they're probably going to lean back towards this Inner's bomb site. Otherwise, you know, he's subjected to basically going down SL and peeking down the green train, Ivy line, something like that. Or picking onto the bomb site, which is not the worst thing in the world. But they do go back towards B, and why not? It's been working.
Yeah, and it's going to be just a slowdown once again. Order have made presence at Ivy. We're still seeing 4 from Legacy on the outside. This is probably their change-up right now. Lakora is going to be back to site, just dancing around. He spotted out a bit of information, looking to drop the incendiary grenade. Don't want to be giving those opportunities to Sicko. Normally it gobbles them up. Not this time, though. Flashbang will push him off the angle. Legacy, they must have communicated they want to be playing this retake B because they've been waiting this entire time.
Well, they have to have a specific plan in mind here, Kev. Otherwise, they're going to be able to not be able to come back into the bomb site.
And Lakor, you cannot be coming out by yourself as Lakor because it means that you're granting a very easy opportunity for Imagine to get the headshot. And now, here come the rifles, here come the rest of the reinforcements from Legacy. Imagine still playing close, and Alistair playing that pop dog, so doing some more damage. And Imagine, oh, he's going to find 2. He's going to catch 2 off guard, and Stat will be able to win the deal, but time is ticking away. I think the CTs have let it tick down a little bit too long. They're going to have to back out, but I think Soja's going to go down to the bomb explosion. Leo's on the lurk. Should be also able to find one as well. Nope, looks like both CTs stay alive and healthy. The Legacy do manage to cut 2 rifles into the next one, but Order once again, another B-site success.
Absolutely, and Imagine getting himself in the perfect position to basically lock that one down. I mean, after they were given retake by the CTs, expecting them to go back towards the outer bomb site with the stack on there, you need to sort of have a game plan in order to retake that B bomb site fairly, you know, uniformly. And unfortunately, you know, your stand-in is your inner anchor in this scenario, so might not be 100% on the same page as everybody else. Plus, they didn't really have much utility at that point in the round. They've been using most of it to actually stop Order from pushing fast outside. Nice pick by Stat in the early parts of the round to take down SL, and 2 people end up going in there.
Yeah, so already early on they lose 1, and Alistair, ooh, that was communicated a little bit late, but still 1-for-1 trade for Legacy, and ultimately that's going to be favourable. Stat is still in there, still looking to duel it out. Has to put out that Molotov with a smoke grenade, but he's still alive, and everything is slowed down for Order right now. They're just going to be taking the bearings, have a bit of a break, and decide where they want to go.
To the 4-on-3, and they're just boosting up Imagine to see if anybody's going on top of the trains, or even just going up and down the ladder for some information. Usually wouldn't expect all of the Order players to be towards the T-connector in this scenario, but you do have control of SL, so only really need to worry about Inners, Ivy and T-con. And they will get a pretty good idea of what's happening for the Ts, especially not losing one to that early pick by Sicko. That's a good start.
Yep, Lonsdale just dancing around, but look at just the control coming out from Legacy still. It's going to have to be some amazing shots coming out from the Order player just to be able to open up the A-bomb site. And Blitz just watching the sandwich angle means that the bomb has now been spotted. Leaz, a lot of work to do. Sicko just posted up an overwatch of the AWP, and Blitz is just aware exactly what's going on. He spotted the bomb being retrieved, and now it's all down to Sicko on a 1-and-3, just looking to do some more further damage. I think he may have just spotted at the gun barrel Blitz. He is very invested on the red train angle, but grenades are still being flung over into T-connector. They're still expecting him to be at this position. 10 seconds left. He's just going to bail and save the AWP.
Yep, and he will have 3650 even after the save and no money return for the rest of this round. If he does actually end up holding on to it, one will be trying to hunt him down, and he has lost a lot of health here. Oh, not quite enough time to actually chase him down there, so Can still drop over an AK to Alistair if necessary. They are going to take attack pause for the last 2 rounds of this half, because it's going to be pretty interesting if they do end up winning this one and then losing the next one. Like if this one's close, then the economy could be feeling pretty dicey. Who knows? They probably still have around 3k or something like that on most of their players, but depends on bomb plant. So many factors.
Yeah, for order, they can buy into this one, obviously, but coming into the next one, might be a different story. If they win, they can buy. They lose, then we might be at the bottom of the barrel, and that is why Order are taking this tactical pause at the moment. Going to have a good chat among themselves, how they're going to close out the last 2 rounds of this half. It is coming to the dying stages of the first half for the first map.
That's for Legacy.
And it's not a bad time to just have a breather and talk about things. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, that's fine. As for Legacy, they need to worry about this Inners bomb site, which has been their weakness. Pretty much able to shut down the outer push every single time, and Order seem to just go back to it time and time again, despite the only success they're having being on the Inners bomb site.
Oh, that's a lot of damage done already just from the wallbang.
Here.
Well, there's a flashbang coming up from the CT side. You can't just peek and dry like that. And Lonsdale's just like, no, bro, watch me. I can peek this dry. And he's going to spawn out a lot of information. And the smoke drops away. And there's no harm. But how many scenarios do you see a CT just dry peeking like that?
I've seen plenty of people do it, usually with the AWP, but, you know, Lonsdale's too good, so he's able to do it with whatever. I think he just expected the flash to come out sooner, but doesn't end up happening. Order walking back towards Inners. They have been spotted on Ivy. They put a bit of pressure on T-Con. They should keep Legacy fairly honest, but Legacy, once again, realizing they've been having troubles on this B-bomb site. Soju's already in SL, hasn't been cleared out, and Blitz is already in position with this AWP. Lacour playing at Flamey, so pretty good setup, to be honest, to defend this actual B hit again.
It's the same hit, though, and Lacour is able to spot out Alistair very early on. Is distracted by the fact that there was one coming up from uppers. So Liaz will be able to get the bomb plant down. 4-on-4 retake will commence. 40 seconds left in this round, but Imagine has just spotted out Soju on the flank. It means that Soju, there's no opportunity for him to go in here. He's waiting. But the longer he waits, it means that it's going to be a very easy pick for Imagine. The rest of the CTs have to make a move on now. 3 Ts in the upper halls. The CTs coming in unison. It's up to Liaz actually to do a lot of work in the midst of the trains. And, well, look at that. 3 picks instantly on the side of Legacy. This Molotov will be dropped. Blitz has a smoke grenade. Where's the smoke? You've got to be using it. He doesn't use the smoke grenade. The HE grenade will finish off so much of his HP. And those are the mistakes you cannot allow to happen if you're Legacy. Sicko, I mean, I'd say he'd play this perfectly. But Legacy, they completely misplayed that.
They didn't pre-drop the smoke on the bomb because you don't know whether that late into the round has Sicko still got a Molotov. You know, you could argue that you drop it no matter what. I don't know. Just one of those situations where you're focused on your crosshair and you're retaking. It's a, you know, high pressure round and there's arguments for and against, but in that scenario, it's just genius from Sicko that he drops the Molotov followed by the HE because it doesn't give enough time for the smoke grenade to come down even if Blitz had the inclination.
Yeah, so down into the final round of Order. I mean, Imagine does have to use the Galil, but the rest of them, they're just coming fast into the B-bomb site. Lacour should be hearing this soon and just going, okay, they're fast on the B-bomb site. But at such a good position, he can't transfer the Silence Stem for spray, though. So it doesn't matter how good a position he has. As now Liaz is slowly going to be making his way from behind. Soju has managed to climb up as well. A lot of noise being made from everyone on this side. As now the pressure is going to be starting on the B-bomb site.
That first pick is going to allow Order to be very worried about their flank, which is going to split their attention between back and front of this train yard.
But you still got Liaz coming in from behind as well. Stat, though, will be able to pick off Sicko, who was in 2 minds. Liaz now coming through. Liaz getting the spray down on 2 members. He gets the spray down on all 3. And Soju just dropping down into his death. Order 2 managed to close out the half just a little bit ahead. 8-7. But to still see how this game goes after the break. Halftime here between Legacy as well as Order, and it's only a single round separating them on train in this best-of-3 elimination match. It is Order just ahead by a little bit, but Legacy have done a lot of good work on their CT side to bring it this close. Now they've got to bring the same intensity that they showed on the CT side onto their T side, Mitch. Otherwise, it could be a very short game. I mean, Order is just classically known for having a close first half and the dominating second half.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're talking about the T side of Train. It felt so back and forth, and Legacy seemed like they were in it with a good crack. But let's be real, 8-7 on the T side. You're pretty happy with that if you're Order. And if they have a good CT side, which they are known for on this map, we should see some pretty good stuff from them and closing it out.
Already initial contact being made from a few different angles as we see Lonsdale just going to be dealing it out with 2 Ivy players, and Lonsdale is going to actually come out on top of that, doing a lot of damage over to Imagine as well as Alistair. Hats earlier on was dealing it out uppers, just copped a stray Glock bullet.
And we're seeing them set up the deep smoke towards inside as well. 2 P250s as well as the flash is going to come in, and they're going to hit in as 2 players ready for this on the side of Order, and here we go.
Yep, Liaz is going to try and spam his way at the edge of the smoke. Has done quite a significant chunk of damage, but Hats just holding firm at the moment. Nullifies any of that aggression that the T's could have had to try to get close to the smoke grenades. And there you have it, the CTs. Clean sweep in the pistol so far. They've taken a lot of damage, and Soju, he's low on 40 HP and a P250, but Liaz is not fascinated with him going wandering. He wants to go for the kill. He wants to charge in, and he will be rewarded with a very messy engagement. And at the end, Soju, he doesn't come out on top, but that was very, very, very messy coming out from Liaz. Not something you normally expect.
Yeah. I mean, Order just have such good USP players. I feel like every time I watch an Order CT pistol round, it's just a highlight reel of them, you know, hitting some sharp, crisp shots, and it's not just one of them, it's like 4 of them that are just insane with those USPs. Once again, they do prevail. Going to be some pistols across the board from Legacy. Don't fully invest. Interesting to see Blitz go for the CZ armor, whereas some of the others will opt to save a CZ AWPer, but maybe they're saving for his AWP, we'll see. HE nade and the scout shot from Sicko does sort of do a little bit of damage very quickly to Legacy in this round. Deep nade could have possibly claimed the life of Soju if he didn't fall back towards the inners area. He's going to walk his way around and just reposition. Pretty solid presence in the front of the train yard, as well as Imagine on this Ivy position here for Order. Molotov runs out onto the SL, and Stat's not going to quite get burned by that one, so he might actually catch Ali off guard. Nope, he doesn't, but that still does get the better of him. 4-on-4 moving forward in this round, and the bomb's still dropped.
Yep, but another incendiary grenade comes in to just spoil the party of Legacy. And Order just going to be still holding firm. They know they've got the superior firepower. They may be tagged down low, but they can still rely on each other. Now Sicko is going to be dropping off. He has spotted out another one. Now the pressure coming out from SL, but this means that Liaz can just peek out in the back of Sicko's call. Soju still dancing around, but he's already so low earlier from that scout tagging it. This should be a pretty routine cleanup until Stat decides to find a very cheeky kill at the edge of the CZ. Oh, actually finds one with the MP9 as well. I don't think he'll be able to do more damage from here, but he's just buying a little bit more time and just being an absolute nuisance at the moment on the side of Order. They will be able to retrieve the M4, but that's actually a lot of damage done from Legacy.
Yeah, 3 kills for them is going to set back Order's economy a little bit more, and that's going to keep them fairly honest in terms of buying the utility later on in this half. They're actually reinvesting straight into the MP9s to make some more money, and probably will bring them into the next couple of gun rounds, as Order has been known to do. Saw them do it against FaZe, seen them do it plenty of times online, so wouldn't be surprised once again. Liaz just going to grab himself an MP9 as well. So 3 across the board, and Scout probably throw away to follow this one. But let's see how much money they do make against these unarmored pistol players on Legacy. Liaz going to push inners, and there is a couple players waiting for him here, but not trying to get this round over and done with too quickly. Alistair just tickling their feet a little bit from herself.
Yeah, Alistair will be overwhelmed on the back of the Glocks and the P250, so Sicko does have to back out. Liaz just jumping straight in. What a madman. It's not going to work out, though. He is going to be dropped by the P250 at close range, which means that Legacy do have some space to maneuver, except for Stat, who is locked away at Aircon. But Blitz, oh my goodness, Blitz, he's stuck up behind! He's going to give Imagine the shanking, and there it is, 1,500 in Blitz's pocket, and this is now a round that Legacy can definitely take out. A lot of damage now done to Sicko. They're going to get the bomb plant down, but Stat, I don't know why he's rushing willy-nilly in. That is actually going to allow an opportunity for Hats to reposition himself for the M4, and now 2-on-2. it was good for Legacy if they had 3 members. It could have been an early warning signal.
Hats with the M4 as well as the scout from these back lanes of Ivy as well as the kit. They got plenty of time to take and they have the smoke as well for the bomb. So MP9s, I don't know.
Oh, but he's found the right target, Blitz. He's found the high HP target, and Sicko dancing around the edge of the smoke. He's just jumped off it, but Blitz just spots the shadow of him and flicks to it, and Legacy, my goodness, out of nowhere, they take an almost nothing round in order. You cannot be dropping those.
Absolutely not. And I mean, if we say the train's right in the middle of Legacy's map pool and they're going into the T side, in a close game like this, Kev, how much depth can you really have on your T side to grind out these rounds? They need to get fortunate at some point if they're going to complete this upset, and this is definitely, you know, a really good start to that. It's going to kickstart their economy. It gets themselves around on the board really early on, and they even upgrade that M4, so Blitz doesn't need to buy an AWP. He's got his bank set up for the rest of the game. Sicko, though, oh my god, this aggression from Order. Already 2 players dead from Legacy.
Yeah, Hats just pushing up inners, and Legacy just not respecting the fact that Order could be going on the charge means that they're just going to be caught completely off guard, and you can see Lonsdale, not even a gun out. Flashbangs are good, though, for the T side to be cracking open the bomb site. Soju's going to be leading the charge. Stats still dancing around this upper smoke right now, so they should be able to get the bomb plant down in this 3 and 4. Good incendiary grenade or Molotov to deny the CT presence from Connector. Bomb plant eventually goes down, but you can see the presence of Liaz very, very close already. And Sicko re-engaging with the AWP means that a 2 on 4 now is a 1 on 4 because Sicko is just going absolutely monstrous with the AWP. You give him a centimeter, he'll take it an absolute meter. Don't think that's how the saying goes. It's all down to stat now. And just too many angles for him to check. Eventually, he's going to go down to a CT.
Incredibly sharp shot on Ali there, definitely feeling it. But Order closes that one out pretty comfortably. Just the 2 kills that early into the round. Absolutely decimates Legacy. They are able to convert it into a bomb plant by using all that utility and getting that entry there. But apart from that, once they used all that utility, they had nothing left but to take the aim duels. And like we said, those retaking CTs on that inner bomb site, unless you got yourself some advanced positions close up towards the CT connector and you're not letting them out, or you got a couple flashes to peek off, it's extremely hard to defend that retake.
And now Sicko starting to wake up. He's been quiet so far in the last couple of series I have watched him, but maybe this is a sign of things to come, especially on Train, where you can expect the AWP to be dominating the corridors. But Order, I mean, for Order, their buy is infinitely worse. They've got 2 UMPs, but we have seen how people can use the UMP today.
Yeah, Legacy, very fortunate to win that eco round up against the Order buy, and it has netted them another buy round after losing those first 2 picks and failing in the last gun round, but they can't blow it here. They're pretty much spent all their money. They're broke. Only Lonsdale's even got utility at this point in the round, and we're only 1 minute to go. So their options are pretty limited. They're going to have to hit some shots. Alistair does grab control of that SL area, and the double drop comes out. Alistair will definitely have heard that one, and he does not want to re-peek into this, especially without a flash. But 4 on this outside bomb site against this hit. Here it comes, Kev. Sicko going to be the first point of contact for the CTs.
Oh, they're not going to expect him here, but what a shot onto LaCour. LaCour was the bait, and well, Sicko does eventually get punished for it, and Alistair trying to hold close to the UMP. It's not going to be up to scratch against an AK-47, but Liaz decides to reposition himself in heaven, and he just jumps up in the middle of nowhere. He's not going to be happy with that. He mouse-wheeled that, and it's going to mean that he goes down. So 2 on 2.
Slow down a little bit more as Blitz moves for some picks in this sandwich area. Going to get caught trying to push up past Hats, and oh, you could have almost seen that be a double spray down there for Stat, but Hats closes it out with the UMP. And you know what? He's winning gun rounds, and he's getting the economy rolling with those $600.
Especially on the back of the UMP as well. So $1,200 for him in the pocket, and he can upgrade to a rifle as well. And this also means that Legacy, they're down onto an eco. And so far, yes, Legacy, they've had 1 good round of the P250s, but they haven't had any brilliance in terms of a buy round just yet. And Order have been able to shut these out quite convincingly from these 2 on 2 or 3 on 2 positions. So now it is Legacy's turn to maybe just get this bomb plant down.
Yeah, they don't necessarily need it, but it definitely would help in this scenario. Unfortunate for Legacy as they do lose those 2 gun rounds back to back, and it's like we were talking about. They got very fortunate winning that save round, but how good is your T side really when it comes down to, you know, your 3rd, 4th map, especially with a stand-in? You really can't have that much depth, and it's showing at this point. Order's playing with their full lineup. They look completely calm and in control. Got the 8 rounds on the T side, and they're just pretty much slaughtering them. These anti-ecos look clean. got all the angles locked down, and the gun rounds haven't looked much more competitive.
I mean, here's the tactical pause coming out from Legacy, but what I want to say is that Order just need to play like they're the better team. We're seeing that at the moment. Sicko can just sit on this top of the screen tray and just control the corridors. He's just killing everyone coming out of T connector. He's just ready to go for a deal. You can see Legacy really scratching their heads on what to do because they haven't had much to go off as well.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, they've pretty much been shut down in both of the gun rounds, and it's not really something you can give too much analysis towards because at this point, you know, Hats is running up in a ramp, Sicko's picking you with the AWP. If you have to worry first mostly about how much you're getting picked on all these angles, as an IGL, you know, you're not even into that second layer of depth of how can I actually counter what the CTs are doing because you haven't even reached the second line of defense for the CTs. You're only getting picked by the initial aggression in the first little parts of the round. You can't get out there because of the utility that's being thrown, and then from that point you've got absolutely no experience moving into the mid-round. You don't know where the weaknesses are, so you can only really call something that's like, we want to take control of this game, or and that's what they're going to do, straight down the SL.
Yeah, straight down SL into a fast A-side hit. The CTs are going to try and buy a little bit more time on the back of the incendiary grenades, but the Molotovs also come out from the Ts. And Sicko already goes down to Blitz, so that means that the ever-powerful AWP Sicko is not going to be on the battlefield for this round. Bomb is going to go down behind these wall of smoke grenades, and Soju still going to be dancing around the open, but taking two angles means that it's never going to be a preferential aim deal. Blitz going to be trying to buy as much time as possible. The flashbang pops a little bit too early on. He pushes into his own death. Stat still holding on here, but Lacor's got the Galil. Now the rest of the CTs are coming out. Grenades are flying thick and thin. They're pushing in the A-bomb site, and there's going to be the dink as well as a Molotov to finish off Hats. It's all down to Lonsdale right now. They know where he is. Liaz trying to hold the angle. Lonsdale is going to be pushing off. The defuse is going to happen at the same time. Alistair will be able to pick up the defuse. He's coming closer, and no one dies at the end. But Legacy 2 rounds away from dropping this map now as Order. Even on a 4 and 5 deficit, able to make that retake work.
It was a good idea there from Legacy. I mean, they got out there straight down the SL. They tried to take control of this game. They got the first pick and the bomb down, but weren't able to convert that post plant. It's unfortunate, you know. They tried to make the right move in this game and didn't quite work out for them. And we'll see whether they do try to go for something similar. Looking like they're going to go quick straight out this T-con, but this Molotov's completely separating them, and Sicko picks the only one who makes it out.
And as a result, it means that the rest of the Ts are going to be straggling behind. And Alistair, it gives just so much position for the CTs to work around with. And Alistair's just going to come close and duel it out. Perfect flashbang coming out, but it's not going to allow Alistair to get the spray down on Blitz. He's low, but still combat effective for just now. Leaz has been dinked out through the edge, but look at this. Imagine has been able to come in from behind. He's got the stance he's got the M4 as well, sorry. Everything is just going to slow to a crawl once again. Liaz still on the prowl for more opportunities, but it's actually Stat that's going to be on the bomb site. Nearly flicks into his own teammate, and now the positions have changed around the CTs and the Ts. Changing positions, but Soju trying to cross out in the open. No chance whatsoever. Bomb lost in the open. I think Imagine was also spotted out Stat just through the edge of the Molotov.
1-on-2 to prevent match point, and an immense amount of pressure coming out, just grenades being thrown by the CTs to stall. He does know where both of them are, but he just can't find an angle on either of them.
And he hasn't retrieved the bomb as well just yet. It's going to be so difficult for Stat to try to find these deals. It looks like he's trying to isolate him to one-on-ones. That's the correct thing to do, but he doesn't know where Imagine has repositioned himself. 28 seconds left on the timer. He's finally going to be able to retrieve the bomb. He actually wins the first deal, and now he also hears the M4 ringing out as well. Knows that Imagine was maybe somewhere near the aircon position, and so he's going to back off into the B bomb site. Stat is going to have a great opportunity to complete this one-on-one clutch against one of the most experienced veterans of the Australian Counter-Strike scene. And let's get the bomb plant down. Imagine is going to be taking the higher ground, dropping down.
Who's going to make the first move?
Both sides just going to be waiting, prowling to see if they can get the advantage. As Stat has been able to tuck himself in a very, very advantageous corner. Imagine doesn't have any grenades to work with. He's finally made noise. Stat can play accordingly around this. And this should be a 1 round coming up from Stat. The time is ticking away. Imagine has to jump on it eventually. He taps it. He's still looking for it. Stat knows this. He's eventually going to re-engage. And he spots that Imagine isn't on the bomb. And he knows he's done enough. That's good enough, Stat. It's good enough. But he actually, no, he doesn't come in fast enough.
Missed times it by half a second, had all the right ideas, and at that point you just need to run at him on the bomb. You know, he can't win the round anyway. You know, almost prevented match point there for Legacy, and just half a second difference, and he would have played that perfectly. But it's one of those things, a little bit uncomfortable playing on a new setup and all those kind of things. Yet not, you know, there's half a second sometimes make all the difference.
Yeah, and we saw
Order now
exactly
match
why. I
point.
mean, I completely can't imagine out of it. I was like, yep, this is definitely Legacy's round, but Snap not coming fast enough in time, and Hats is just going to slowly walk up again. How many times has he been allowed to walk up 3 inners before Legacy is able to punish him?
They haven't even been going for any contact inners yet. I mean, that's potentially a point of weakness, like we said, but you know, you can't really isolate that too much if you don't expect him to go for it that many times. I feel like after the first time it's worked, you don't expect him to go for it again. But when you're up so many rounds, you can start to go for these more aggressive plays. Blitz actually able to pick one up over the boost, and Hats trying to trade back.
Yeah, needs to be cautious as well. So Leaz looks like he was playing on top of the red train, close to connector. Boost means that Legacy, at the very least, able to find the first opening pick. And Lacor's just been left to his own devices right now to see if you can find or just apply some pressure on the extremities. The rest of the Legacy are going to be gearing up for what seems to be an ace-side hit through SL. Here we are. Down they go, and no attention being given as they just line up for Blitz. A single shot, 2 kills. And now Sicko trying to push through the edge of the smoke as well as Incendiary Grenade. No chance whatsoever. So Legacy do buy a little bit of time. But how much time can they buy is a real question.
Well, nice little creative boost to pick up the first kill of that round. And they do convert it into a round win on the outside bomb site this time. So good stuff from Legacy. The first of many rounds that they'll need. They're going to lose another gun as Hats picks up Plons on the off angle. Will start suffer the same fate. Will he not hunt anymore? Looking like he's backing out towards Ivy, but does get dinked, and Hats picks him up on the nice timing once again. Upgrades himself to an AK. And 2 extra guns there dropped from Legacy. They're going to need as much money as they can get moving into these next couple of rounds.
Yeah, this is going to be very problematic. So Soju does have to drop over as long as Blitz. So not too worrisome just yet, except for one person. They're going to have to go missing a little bit. They're going to have to go, all right, I either have to take a Galil or a CZ instead, which is not the position you ever want to be in coming into what could be always your final round where Order are on match point, or map point, should I say.
Absolutely, and we're seeing 2 of the players quite low on money here on the side of Legacy. Not really going to matter if you do lose, but if you keep winning these close rounds, eventually they're just going to grind your economy down to the point where you're using ups on a couple of your players or CZs and you're lacking the utility. Aggression out onto Ivy as Imagine. Pushes out by himself, but doesn't commit on that. Speaking of which, he's having to rock a CZ while Ali has Scout Leo's on the CZ as well, so they're not doing too well. I feel like it's just one of those rounds where if Sicko's got an AWP and Hats has got a rifle, it's a gun round.
Alonso going to be trying to escape out of T-connector, but Sicko does not allow his ex-teammate any reprieve whatsoever, and he just swivels on a dime into the correct position. Lacor trying to walk out of Ivy and Leaz. That is absolutely ridiculous, because you can't be doing that with a CZ, but he does, and now Sicko looks like he's just the one-man show right now. It's all down to Stat. The bomb completely nowhere near. Imagine's going to take a few bullets in the foot, but Stat willingly drops down to his death. And Order, well, they only dropped 2 rounds on their own CT side. They're going to pick up the first map 16-9.
Yeah, and I mean, we're getting excited about Legacy picking up a lot of these CT rounds. They seemed so confident just when they were up 6-4, 7-4, or whatever it was, shutting down those outside pushes. But once Order, you know, they took attack pause, they had a chat about things, they realized how weak the inner bomb site was, and they were able to exploit that, get the 8-7 half, and after that, you know, Legacy might have won that eco round and been a bit fortunate with some of their T rounds, but they didn't have anything else left in the tank.
I mean, let's start from the beginning here, Mitch. So let's bring it all the way back to when Train was first starting off. It looked like a good start from Order. They were able to get the pistol. And Legacy, slowly but steadily getting some rounds. What was that on the back of?
In terms of the T side?
In terms of the CT side, when Legacy were first on the CT side.
On the CT side. Well, Legacy, they sort of shut down with the utility all of those outside pushes that Order kept throwing at them. Whenever Order went towards the inside hit, or whether they walked towards to their 3, you know, nip smokes towards deep, they had a lot of success with that. Whenever they even went contact in there and just jumped down the ramp, they would seem to be able to resolve the boast plant pretty easily on the inner bomb site. But whenever they went outside, Legacy just seems really well versed in defending that. Lots of utility expended. Soju and Stat both holding down their cell position, and Order just weren't able to get out there, and they continued to try to go back to that even after success at inner. They thought that Legacy would adjust more quickly than they did.
I mean, for me overall, I mean, once again, Legacy have been playing with a stand-in, so you can't really fault Lacour too much for it. But for me, the weaknesses were the B side on the CT side, and the fact they couldn't actually get any of the executes working, none of them whatsoever.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just how it goes. You're playing with a stand-in, you can't have that much depth on the T side because you're not as prepared, and you can't have, you can't be sure your stand-in's going to super excel at his position in terms of, him being comfortable playing it or his individual skill and all that kind of stuff. So, unfortunately, Order were able to exploit that, but we did see some pretty good stuff from some of the other players. So, promising things here for Legacy, and once again, they're heading into their map pick next, so who knows?
I mean, the worrisome thing, though, is jumping on the Mirage. Maybe we're jumping ahead a little bit, but Mirage is going to be our next map pick. That is also one of Order's good maps. I mean, we're not talking about, okay, maybe not against a FaZe, for example, but against domestic opponents, it is one of their strongest maps.
Yeah, well, Legacy's got to be at least somewhat prepared for Order on that map. They did know that this was a possible, resolving of the group. In fact, it's more likely that it would come out that way. So they should be fairly well prepared for this match. This is the best of three they should be expecting. And they definitely would have picked Mirage for a reason. Not only do we know they're strong on it, they did take out Tainted on it, I believe. But they should be pretty well aware of what Order's bringing to the table.
All right, so what positives can we take out for Legacy here? Other than the fact that on their CT side, obviously, they're able to duel it out very, very well. Any particular standout players for you for Legacy? And similarly, any particular standout players on the side of Order as well this time around?
I mean, Order, it's the usual three that we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing, Hats, your Sicko, and your Liaz really stepping up and taking the cake home for Order. We did see Ali. He was more playing sort of a supportive role. You watched him a lot of those T-side rounds. He's literally just jumping out T-connector. He's jumping down low ramp. And, he might not have the best score, but he's clearly playing a role in the team rather than taking a starring role. You need your supportive cast. So that's always good to see, even if the stats don't tell, the whole story. And then in terms of Legacy, it was impressive to watch Stat and Soju. They definitely both had some pretty decent games, showing some rifle power, holding that outside bomb site. That's the whole thing that made Order think twice about hitting that site and made them have so little success. Not only the utility usage, but just the spray downs from those two and holding the SL was really good to see.
Well, that is it for the first map. So Order do manage to take Legacy down 16-9, but we will be jumping onto our second map of Mirage just after this. Will Order be able to